right, Chris? We don't know. But again, like I said, lots to talk about. A lot of fun this week. The NCAA tournament didn't disappoint. Opening day baseball, which is awesome. My Cubs lost, but that's okay. No big deal. Listen, a lot of games left. A lot of games. A lot of time. So with that said, we have a tight ship today, and we're changing things up a little bit, but that's okay. We're always moving and shaking here at the Mouthpiece, ladies and gentlemen. But with that said, let me introduce my all-star panel for today. He's our MVP. He's our Valuetainment one and only Chris Manno, everybody. Chris Manno.
What's up, guys? Going to be a great show.
Yeah.
You're right. Lots going on this week.
Yeah.
Everything, even around here, seems kind of crazy this morning, though. So who knows? Good vibes on the studio.
What do you think it is? Is it because Easter's around the corner? What do you think it is?
Well, look, sports is picking back up. I mean, weather's
spring
always
is in the
beautiful
air
here. Yeah, weather's always beautiful here. Got some new blood in here today, so that should be interesting.
Yep.
Right?
Well,
so we got a lot going on.
Listen, the belle of the ball, if you will. She had a big day yesterday. I was kind of hoping she was going to wear the Marlins jersey because she looked dynamite. Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for a girl in a jersey. That's just who I am. That's just where I grew up. But she looked amazing. And listen, she puts this whole thing together. She keeps our whole Valuetainment sports show together. She keeps the Mouthpiece together.
Yep.
Please make a warm welcome for Christy Pradas.
Let's
everyone.
go.
Christy Pradas. Thank you for joining us, Christy. She's taking over for Malik because Malik is busy with PBD. But you know what? You know what? Wouldn't have it any other way. How do you feel after the national anthem? How do you feel? Like, what was it, the build-up? Because then we'll get to your clip. But what was the build-up into? Just give us kind of a recap of how you felt.
Oh my gosh.
Before and after.
Well, you guys know you both are performers in different ways, athletics and then being on stage. So there's like a certain type of natural high that you get when you come out on the field or on stage and you see a live audience, you see fans. There's nothing like it. I've never felt that rush before with anything else. And so getting back out there and being in front of 27,000 people was just I was in awe. I was just so grateful to be there again.
Did you feel like you were going back on stage, like you were like back in the days when you used to go open for? You opened for what's her?
Gloria.
I've done
Gloria Estefan. Yeah, Gloria Estefan.
I've done a few performances for like the Kennedy Center Honors in front of greats like Stevie Wonder and Babyface and Meryl Streep.
Oh, and America's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, I missed it so much. So just getting to be able to be out there and to experience opening day, which I had never experienced before, with a packed stadium, I was just really, really grateful. And to be representing Miami, being a Miami girl, I was really, really happy to be there.
Did you get the same old like butterflies in the beginning, and as soon as you start, it goes away?
Oh yeah. I buckle, like my knees shake. And
did you really?
They buckle all the time.
I had that before I did SNL. My knees before I went out for SNL. Before I tested for SNL, my knees were buckling like this. They're like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and then the minute that you start, it just all goes away, and you just feel this sense of relief and high, and you're just connected to the audience, and there's no feeling like it. So I was really happy to be there.
And we were talking. She was super gutsy too, because you know the people who, when you decide, we were talking about it earlier, when you decide to kind of make the anthem your own and change certain things,
like Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston is one of one.
Iconic.
The best.
But I mean, like you've heard people who like they'll take certain notes and bring them here. And you're like, oh, you better kill this. And Christy decided a couple spots to go nuts.
Let's play your clip because I want to see your clip.
And then we got to talk about something else, Christy. We have to talk about something else. But you crushed it. Let's play this clip.
Yeah, I want to see this.
You're good.
Turn it up. Yep,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you
take a chance like that, you better crush it like that.
Dude, I'm not kidding. Some
There it is.
Some dad just let go of his child's hand because he was that moved.
Come on now.
There it is.
All right.
I just got chills.
Keep going.
Thank you so much.
Christy.
Our very own Christy Pradas just crushed it. Listen, I'm going to say on a scale from 1 to 10, man, I don't know about you, but that was a 9.5.
Yeah, that was serious.
9.5
Yeah, that
for
was serious.
sure. And honestly, Whitney Houston has nothing on you, Christy. I hope you know.
Yeah, that was serious.
That makes me really
Rest
happy.
in peace, Whitney Houston, but she has nothing on you.
And so we've talked about the highs, but we got to talk. We just got to touch on a low real quick.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no!
No, I'm not. It's not a real thing. It's not a real.
Sure, go ahead.
But we're doing a bad job of educating Christy.
Okay.
I noticed this morning because Christy was there She was there with the one and only Neymar. Neymar threw out the first pitch, and Christy didn't know who Neymar was.
Stop it.
So
I told you I wasn't going to tell you before the show. Yeah, it's not that I
Is
didn't
this what you
know.
weren't going to tell me?
No, it's that you didn't know.
Okay, so Chris and I
How
have
did I
had this
know Neymar?
Chris and I have had this conversation before where it's like I love meeting people or like celebrities or athletes or famous people when I don't know who they are. I've done that since I was on Broadway. I would go and meet these infamous directors and everything, and I really enjoyed the fact that I didn't know who they were when I first met them, because I feel like those individuals are actually taken aback by how normal you treat them. I feel like they get praised and put on a pedestal when people know who they are. So at first, when I saw Neymar coming out to throw the first pitch, I was like, oh, he's probably like a reggaeton artist because he kind of looks like it. I don't know.
Look,
he did.
It's not about like
He's mad at me.
It's just he's one of those guys you almost have no choice but to notice. Like there's not a country in the world Neymar can go to and not be recognized. Like look, if you're known around the world by one name, like this he's known by one name. You have to know who he is. And I was just as the co-host of a sports show, and Christy being like here every time we do this, I'm seeing her right here.
I'm looking up how much Neymar is worth.
Oh,
Not only that,
yeah.
I went on his
yeah.
like socials, like 220
200
million followers.
followers.
I happened to be the only one who didn't know who he was there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like
like, oh, he's
charming
kind of
to
a big
not
deal.
know who he is.
He's
That's
worth
just one of those-
$250 million.
Yeah, that's one of
Oh,
those.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
He did a great
That's it.
first pitch.
Yeah, I
Did
would
he? He could
have.
throw?
Very well done.
I would have hugged him and then held on to him the whole time.
Just let go, sir.
Shout out to Neymar for throwing out
Yeah,
the first
shout out
pitch.
Neymar.
Shout out. I know who you are now. You were amazing.
I wonder if he's going to go play with Messi. Do you think that's what's in the works? That's the reason why
I
he's
think
out
he's
here?
probably a couple years away, if I had to guess. But he'll get here at some point. They all do. Because
Do you have
there's
any-
money like crazy.
Do you have any interest going to watch Messi? I'm
Very
definitely-
much so.
Yeah, for sure.
There's like a couple of athletes I wish I would have watched. I mean, I always wish I was young, but Mike, I would have loved to see in person. You probably saw him, right?
I saw Mike. Yeah. What do you
I
call
never
me,
saw him
old
in
bro?
per-
You call
Oh,
me
you're
old?
from Chicago,
Yeah,
though.
no, just okay. But not to take away from your special occasion. That was amazing. You did an awesome
Sick.
job,
Killed
Thank
it.
you
and we're so
guys.
proud of you.
I
Yes,
thought of
very
you
much
guys
so.
the whole time. I
So
was like,
fantastic, because I just know how that feels. But you're back in your element. You were doing your thing, and you shine like a rock star.
oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Brady. Love you
With that
guys.
said, speaking of our very own rock star, PBD had Stephen A. Smith in the house, and everyone got a picture with him except me, because I thought it was a day before, but that's okay. I get my days mixed up, even though I have 15 calendars around me, but I never pay attention to any of them. Christy, I thought it was interesting because Pat was talking to Stephen A. Smith, and I'm a huge Chicago Bulls fan, and the whole thing that happened with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen is a whole riff, because Scottie Pippen's wife is now, was engaged to Michael Jordan's son. And also, Manno, I don't know if you know this. Listen, I've been touched in terms of this department. I'm not going to go into detail, but we've been touched in this department. And it's personal to me because I think when it comes to like a relationship between Scottie and Mike, right, where they won 6 championships,
Right.
and it was so intimate that the off-court stuff now is starting to make a play, and it sucks because now it's starting to tarnish their legacy in a way.
You'd say there. I don't know if I feel like there. One of them for sure.
Well, okay. But, okay, so can we play the Stephen A. clip? Because I just think it's interesting what Stephen A. says about the whole Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan thing. Because he's very close with MJ. He's very close with Scottie. And also he has his finger on the pulse, everything NBA. But I don't know. For me, I just thought, like, the reason why Scottie and Michael are now having their tiff or their riff or whatever is because of The Last Dance, right?
I'm sure that's a part of it. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Do you have the clip, Christy? Yes. Let's pull it up.
Foregone conclusion right now, I would go.
So it's just a Trump thing.
It's a Trump thing.
Okay, got
Oh.
it.
It's a Trump
By the
thing.
way, you remember what he said? Again, I want to move on to the next task. We got 15 minutes, and then we got to go grub.
Should have clipped it right at the thing, but...
He did say Biden. He said it
Oh.
50
In the wrong
times.
spot?
He
I think I
said,
put it in the wrong
Biden-
spot, and that's my
I
fault.
said, can
I guess.
Biden do
It
to
said-
you
That's weird.
what
1 hour
Trump
and
did to
41
81
minutes.
million people? He said yes.
Yeah.
1 hour
That
41.
conversation stops right there. I mean, that answer's already been given. I want to go to a couple things selfishly for me.
Please.
Oh, it's all right.
Last
Well,
dance.
it's okay.
Yes, sir.
It's fine. We'll get to it. We'll pull it back up. But here's the thing with the whole thing with Stephen A. Smith. What he talked about was that Scottie had a problem with Mike after the whole Last Dance thing.
Sure.
And then after the whole thing with Mike and his son dating Scottie's ex, he felt betrayed. And so what Stephen A. Smith said was the whole thing about the word betrayal. Even Kobe hated the word betrayal. That's a heavy burden on somebody to have. When they feel that. They don't like that feeling. Michael used because I guess Scottie didn't reach out to Mike when Mike's dad died. And Mike used that against Scottie, and Scottie never knew that. What are your thoughts on that, Manno? I mean, do you think they'll ever get that relationship back, or is it toast?
Well, I would take it back to, like, in general, there's people who Michael Jordan is on a level of fame that regular folks can't ever even fathom.
Totally.
So already they understand.
He's a rock star.
And they feel like people everywhere they go are trying to get something from them or be close to them for some kind of ulterior motive. So when you let a guy into your circle, I think guys like Kobe, guys like Mike, these celebrities that just hit a certain level, when you let guys into your circle, that's like a sacred thing. That's like something that these guys take very seriously. So if you're one of the few that they kind of select and allow to be close and get close, when you do something that they, deem a betrayal, it's very hard to get out, to come back from that.
But also Jordan used everything as fuel.
Of course.
He used everything. But also, remember, because they said Jordan used to make up stories.
Yeah.
He used to make up stories, Manno, to use against you. Like, is that, okay, and we'll get to the clip in a second, but is that a level of delusion? Are you delusional? Or also, Manno, are you a psycho? That's a psycho mentality.
Well, I think a lot of times they say what makes you great could also be your greatest downfall, right? What made Michael Jordan the greatest athlete of all time was that competitive aspect. It's also, it seems like it's cost him relationships, right? I'm sure it cost him time with his family. I'm sure. So the thing that made Michael Jordan what we know Michael Jordan to be is probably in other aspects of his life doesn't really sit so well. I myself was a fringe NFL player.
Right.
And I missed holidays. I missed parties, time with friends, time with family. I'm not missing training. I'm not missing the gym. And imagine the level Mike or Kobe, someone at that level must have taken it to. You're sacrificing other things to reach this status.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you gave up all that stuff.
Sure.
Do you regret it?
No, not for a second.
Knowing the outcome?
Well, here's the deal. I myself, thankfully, it happened to fit with my life. I was never somebody who, never bothered me to miss a party. You know what I mean? And my family knew that I was working for a bigger purpose, so I had the support of them.
Love that.
It helped my life, it helped my life flow smoothly.
Sure.
So thankfully, that worked out easy. But again, I can't compare anything I did to these guys who are, they were doing it for 15 years. You miss your kids' childhoods that way, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was cool. Shout out to Stephen A. for coming in. The guy is
we have the clip now, Christy?
Different level sports media. So that was awesome to see and kind of be around him.
Let's see if it works now. If we have the clip, because it should. Where he breaks it down with the Scottie and Michael thing, which I thought was really cool.
Last Dance.
Yes, sir.
Do you think this whole No Bull tour, Scottie, Horace Grant, and is it Wellington? I don't know who the other guy is. I think it's one of the centers that they're going around talking about what happened and
Bill Wellington,
how
Beef
upset they
Wellington.
were. And then Scottie comes out with the book, and I don't know who he did his interview with, and he said, "How do you want to be remembered as, Scottie?" And he says, "I want to be remembered as the greatest of all time." Right? I watched Scottie doing analysis on TV. He's actually really good giving his analysis. I actually enjoy watching his analysis when he gives. You had an interview with him one time when he says LeBron versus this, and he says. You said, but statistically, LeBron, but Michael's the greatest of all time. So how could you say that? Michael at any point could average triple-double. And he says, no. He says he couldn't? No, because it's not in his demeanor. I'd say the same thing about Kobe, and he's kind of given that conversation. What do you think happened to Scottie to all of a sudden come out thinking he's, I want to be remembered as the greatest of all time? What happened after Last Dance to Scottie?
I think he wants the world to see him in a different light than he believes Michael Jordan has betrayed him as, particularly in The Last Dance. I would tell you Scottie Pippen is not accepting enough culpability for how Scottie Pippen ultimately influenced people to look at him. It was you that signed the contract that Jerry Reinsdorf advised you not to sign because he said you're not going to be able to come back and renegotiate. I'm telling you this right now. Don't do it. And Michael Jordan and others told him that. He wouldn't listen. The same Scottie Pippen that is complaining about Jordan when Jordan was retired and was playing baseball. It was Scottie Pippen kicking his sneakers up in the ears for the cameras, showing that he was wearing Jordan and asking them to come back.
Yep.
And when Scottie Pippen wanted his new contract, it was him that was vacillating back and forth, playing hard, not playing hard, playing, not playing, and whatever, because he was pouting over his contract, et cetera, et cetera. And so you harbor responsibility. It was you that refused to enter the game when Phil Jackson called Tony Kukoc's number. That wasn't Michael Jordan. And so those things played a role.
All right, yeah, clip it up.
In Scottie Pippen.
So technically, he doesn't talk too much about his relationship per se with Michael, but also he's talking about. I think what I'm trying to say is Scottie's trying to paint himself in a different light now. Also because I think he's so hurt by what has gone off, not on the court, but off the court in terms of the Last Dance, in terms of the situation with Michael's son and his ex-wife. I think he's so effing hurt that, dude, he's now starting to come out saying LeBron's better than Mike, stuff like that. And I don't mean to beat a dead horse, and we'll move on, but I'm saying, like, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, well, shout out to Stephen A. and PBD because
for sure.
Pat did a fantastic job. Those guys over there always do, and he got things out of Stephen A. that I didn't know before, which is awesome. But pertaining to this whole thing, yeah, I think it's probably a marriage of a bunch of different things. The on-court stuff, like we said, Scottie Pippen's an all-time great, and his value is always going to be diminished by as much as Mike raised his game, playing with Mike raised his game, it's got to be tough to be Robin for 40, 30 years now.
And also nothing
and he
like
shined when Mike wasn't there. He had a great year.
Christy, let me get a female's perspective, okay? How would you feel if you were Scottie Pippen and then Michael Jordan's son is now dating your ex, right? Like, how would you?
What's the age difference? What's the age?
Oh, it's like 20 years.
I just feel like there's no relatability between the two individuals, especially if the woman's older.
But wouldn't you feel
very weird.
Wouldn't you feel betrayed like a motherfucker?
The woman's like a famous,
in a way,
the woman's like a famous
she's a real housewife.
man eater.
She's a real
like she
housewife of
goes
Miami.
through.
Isn't she friends with like Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, that's her
like,
her shtick. Her
gone
thing
with
is
them.
like.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a weird family barbecue.
And
like you just bring your friend, you bring his son,
What a
and
visual.
then everyone's just making out, and you're like, "This is weird." That. No, I don't know. I feel some type of way for sure. I feel like the friendship wouldn't be the same.
No
Be weird.
shit.
Yeah, obviously.
I think that took a turn for the worse, like before that. And yeah, what Scottie does now is so weird, man. That's why I can't take his commentary serious, because it almost seems like whatever way he wakes up that morning, that's how he feels. I've heard him say one day LeBron is better than Jordan, and then I hear him say other days it's not even close. Mike's the guy. Da, da, da. I kind of think like they were talking about with the contract. You would think Scottie Pippen, because he's Scottie Pippen, would have just endless money in the bank. The way his contract kind of shaked out, it's not money that may last you 50 years. So I think right now he's kind of at that hot take, talk about me, I need some attention type of phase of his life, which kind of sucks.
At the end of the day, though, you did have a great career. You won 6 championships. You played along literally Michael Jackson. You played against the best player ever on the planet, and you have that.
Right.
Wouldn't you want to just like ride off in the sunset and just with your money and then go get a new chick and not be distracted by all the garbage that is Michael Jordan's son and your ex, and then also talking about how your legacy was tarnished because MJ was like towering over you with all your accolades? Scottie, no one cares, dude. Do your thing. You have a ton of money. Find another chick. Go to South Beach. Have a blast. I don't know. I just feel like it's all just a bunch of bullshit at the end of the day. For me, life goes on, and that's just the way it goes. He sounds like he's a bitter dude, and it sucks because I love Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. He's probably bitter because, look, at the end of the day,
if you're saying LeBron's better than Michael Jordan, which we've already touched on so much.
Well, think about how we're talking about him right now. We're talking about him like he's some average civilian dude.
He's not.
He's a top 100 player of all time.
Top 50.
So he probably, that's close, but he, think about it. He probably feels like that too. He probably feels like that too. Like, man, I'm Scottie Pippen. I was co-pilot to 6 championships. When Mike went out, I was all NBA level player. I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer in that special wing. And he's like, everything about me is always an asterisk because I'm not Mike, or I did it alongside Mike. You know what I mean? So look, that would leave a guy bitter, I would imagine, right?
Of course. Here's another thing that would leave a lot of people bitter. And you, speaking of asterisks, and we're moving out because we beat this over the head with a sledgehammer. But you have this guy Jontay Porter who plays for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
You have a whole thing on this because I looked into it, and I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to let you take it from here. But what this guy is doing is kind of blatant, and it's very obvious.
Yeah, this is going to be a big deal, and we kind of touched on something relating
it's
to
very Shohei.
it. Well, that's what I'm saying. We touched on something relating to it over the last couple of episodes, and that's Ohtani. And just the business of betting now really permeating sports it's a dangerous game. And once the ball gets rolling, I don't know how you put that. It's like once that toothpaste out of the tube, I don't know how you put it away. So here's the deal with Jontay Porter. Now, Jontay Porter has been kind of put on leave. He's been taken out of multiple games now on these suspicious gambling allegations.
For
right?
the people at home.
I'm going to break it down for him. So
okay, cool.
January 26th, the first time this happened, Jontay Porter subbed himself out after just 4 minutes. And we have a clip, Christy, if you could pull that up, of him with an eye issue, right? Now, that night, Jontay Porter, the under on his three-pointers was DraftKings' biggest money winner for bettors of any NBA player. So
interesting.
So just coincidentally, Jontay Porter comes in, he's doing okay, and his over-under is coming up, and after 4 minutes kind of pulls himself out of the game with an eye injury. That was the first instance. If it was a one-time thing, maybe, it could happen. Anybody could have a problem with their contact lens, whatever. But now we get back March 20th, the second time. He leaves with an unspecified illness, right? So he comes in, he grabs 2 rebounds within the first minute of being in the game. His over-under that night is 5.5. So in a minute, he's got 2. Now, I know we have a clip of that, too, if we can pull that up. If not, no sweat. But
there it is.
So there's the eye issue. So now Jontay Porter, after 4 minutes, pulls himself out. He's a fantastic actor, if he's acting, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So the eye thing. Now he's out. He doesn't come back into the game. His under, obviously, he stays under. Everybody who bet on him wins. Okay, maybe one time, not a big deal. Second time, March 20th, unspecified illness. He comes in, tons of energy, 2 rebounds right away. Here we go. Where the announcers kind of are. Here we go. Look, so let's see. We have a little play here. Shot goes up. Jontay Porter comes from the bottom. There's one. So they're talking about. Here we go. So here's one. Oh, wait a minute.
What is that?
Hang tight one sec. All right, so here's where it starts. I'm sorry about that. So right here, ball goes up. Jontay Porter pulls down a board. He's been in the game for about 30 seconds now.
Right.
Same possession. Ball goes up again. Jontay Porter's got 2. Now, it's early in the game, as you can see.
Right?
Over-under is 5.5. So if he gets over that, he obviously he's impacting these bets now.
Oh, we just saw that. Okay.
So, we can stop it right there.
Right.
So right after that, just a matter of minutes later, he comes down with some unspecified illness. Obviously, he looked okay right there. He's pulled down multiple rebounds in his first minute in the game. And then at this point, he sets off some red light. And, now they're looking back into these games to see, is there anything to this? Is there any way this could have been a weird coincidence?
But my question to you is, who is keeping track of this? Who's, I know this is on sports. Okay, my big question to you is, with all the sports gambling, and now it's so legal. It's so legal everywhere. We got DraftKings, we got the Hard Rock Bet, we got everything.
Right.
Is this starting to become an actual problem?
Yeah, of course it's going to be a problem.
But I'm saying, I know, but it's always, listen, sports gambling has been since the dawn of time.
Right.
But now I'm saying with the apps, and I'm saying with the social media.
Right.
Is this becoming more of an issue than we'd like it to be?
Well, I think at this point there's no way you can say
blatant,
no, right?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's never been more prevalent than it is now, where billions of dollars literally are being wagered on big events.
Because
anything.
What's going to piss me off is if you start messing. If these guys start betting on their own games as a sports fan, how am I going to know what am I organically watching and what has been thrown?
Well, that's always the biggest issue with sports. It's what makes sports so special is that surprise outcome, that outcome that nobody knows, when a team can upset another team. When you start to question the validity of the outcomes of these games, you have WWE.
That's what I'm talking about. But have we always
been
looking at WWE then? Because, I mean, look how easy Chrissy, you know WWE, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right. How great those guys are acting. You just called
It's
it
a
out.
show.
The guy with his eye.
Looked like he had an issue,
Totally.
for sure. Yeah.
What are we watching here, Christy?
I feel like, doesn't
what are we
LeBron
watching?
do that all the time, though? Where he pretends to be injured, and then they go on the slow-mo, and it's not even close to his ankle or his face or anything.
LeBron, by the way,
It's
is one of the best actors I've ever seen in my
best
entire life.
actor.
Listen, have you
Reads
seen
all
Space
of the
Jam 2?
books.
That's the only acting that was not good.
Oh, boy.
So, all right, moving on. Caitlin Clark is always in the news. She's having a great tournament. She's also, the Barstool guys came out and said they'll pay her $10 million to play for their intramural team. No,
Big Three, Ice Cube and Big Three.
No, I know. I'm getting there. So we're getting there. So intramural, Dave Portnoy gave her $10 million, but the Big Three came out for $5 million, said to come play with them for the Big Three, and then. Who was the player that came out and said she wouldn't even get one rebound? There was a guy that came out and said for the Big Three that plays for the Big. Kenny Martin.
Yeah, well,
came out and said that she wouldn't even get one rebound, which I kind of agree. Big Three is like prison-style basketball in a way, with a better lack of term. What's your thoughts on the whole Caitlin Clark thing?
Couple things. You said it right. Ice Cube in the Big Three offers her $5 million for a 10-game slate. That comes down to $500K a game and actually puts her on par.
Would you watch that?
Hold on, just one second. It puts her on par with some of the best NBA players, right? So for all these
was.
What do you mean?
Some of the
Not Steph Curry makes $540 a game. LeBron makes over $500 a game. So this actual deal puts her on par with some of the greatest paid NBA players. So finally, for the first time, like
the Big Three.
Well, what I'm saying is the money that they're going to pay her to come over for 10 games equates to what the best players in the NBA make a game. So for all these times that they've been complaining about how women don't get paid what men get paid,
interesting.
Here's your shot, right? Now here's what I think. Do I think she does it? Absolutely no way, no how. For a bunch of reasons. What do you think? That face makes me think you think she's going to do it.
No, absolutely not. No, there's no way. She's not going to go play with dudes, and also she's not going to play 3-on-3 basketball. The girl is so talented. She's going to go to the WNBA, and she's going to get the most endorsements. She's going to get she's probably going to make more money off endorsements than probably Tom Brady throughout his whole career. Maybe even more than. Now, I'm not going to say Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan's untouchable. The guy makes billions of dollars off his brand. But Caitlin Clark, this girl, I'm telling you right now, Christy, is literally. And I know you hate when I say the Steph Curry of blah, blah, blah.
No, I agree.
She is going to be the biggest thing in the WNBA. She will sell out arenas. And I'm not joking when I tell you this. Whatever team she goes to, it'll be a sold-out game every game. Chris?
Now, here's what I think. So, money-wise, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, absolutely. But game-wise, here's what I think. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But at the end of the day, and I hate to say it, she's barely 6 feet. She's probably 130 pounds, and she's going to be mixing it up with grown guys who are going to be making it a point to not let her make them look silly. Now, these guys are old NBA guys, all of them.
Yeah, they're all.
So what I think happens is right now, and this is very warranted, let me say that right out of the gate, she's a stud. She's the first person that's gotten me actually interested where I know I have to be home at 5 o'clock because Caitlin Clark and Iowa are playing in the tournament. Dude, I want to sit down and watch it. And that's never happened for me before. So shout Caitlin Clark. That's awesome.
My dad called me when he was walking the dogs, and he's like, yeah, I got to let you go. I'm like, why? He goes, Caitlin Clark is coming out for Iowa. I go, huh? Caitlin Clark, you're going to let me go for Caitlin Clark in Iowa. He goes, son, yes. And then Gonzaga's on after that.
But here's the interesting part, right? I actually think that I don't know who the powers that be are. I don't think they allow her to play in this because they have this whole. This is the conspiracy guy in me, so bear with me.
Now you're talking turkey.
So look, this big movement is women can do what men can do. If you put her out there and allow them to shut her down like that, where she's non-existent, it puts a real chink in that whole case. So I don't think there's any feasible way they even allow her out there because right now you can make the claim that Caitlin Clark can get out there and play with the boys.
Yeah.
And as soon as you put her out there and she's smothered or blanketed by one of these old NBA guys who are trying to make a point to say, look, we're different. She's real good for the ladies' game, but she doesn't have a place out here.
Yeah, go ahead, Christine.
I'm just curious.
Sure.
Who thought of bringing her to play against the male NBA players?
That's Ice Cube.
That's a great question.
Like,
Chris?
why can't she just be a great athlete, great female athlete? Why does it automatically have to go into, okay, let's have her compete against the men? It's clearly different. There's clearly different body structures and strengths. Like, let her be great. Why do you have to immediately talk about potentially embarrassing her when she has to be against these guys? Well, like, who thought of that?
Well, that's an Ice Cube thing. And if you think about it, Ice Cube is a master businessman. Yeah. So Ice Cube knew that. This is what I think. I think he was just playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. I think he thought ahead, like, I'll make the offer. It'll get a ton of press for my Big Three league. It'll make it look like we're real, we're real welcoming of the women's game and stuff like that. And she'll never accept it. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win-win for Ice Cube, right?
Well,
he looks great. First guy to give her a chance. Yeah. Willing to pay her NBA money. but I think he knows. And look, look. Imagine she does come on board. The ratings that them games will get. Ice Cube is a businessman. He wants ratings for his league, and I think
I'm going to be honest with you, Manno. I don't even know who plays in the Big Three.
guys
watch
like
it.
Joe Johnson, Kenyon Martin.
I mean, listen. I do. Listen, I watch the Big Three because I love anything sports. I'll watch the XFL. I don't care. I'll watch midget wrestling. I don't give a shit. But like the Big Three, the thing is, I like the plug that he wanted to bring her in there because it's good for the Big Three because their season that I think is starting up pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure.
And also just it puts eyeballs on the Big Three.
And that's what's important. It's a business at the end
But
of
I
the
think
day.
that's all that was. It was just to get eyeballs on the Big Three. But I also like what Barstool did with Dave Portnoy saying to come play for the intramural team for $10 million. Yo, what if she actually took that? What if she actually took that? I was like, I'm going to go play for Barstool for $10 million for the intramural team. What a gig. What a gig. What a gig.
Not
Well, that
bad.
again is a testament to Caitlin Clark, right? Because she's made these guys know that it's never happened before. There's been great women's players. Candace Parker's a stud.
Of course.
Cheryl Miller was a stud, and I can rip off probably
Reese
10
is going to
more.
be amazing too for the
Yeah,
WNBA.
a ton of them.
Yep.
Sabrina Ionescu in New York right now,
Yep.
stud. But I've never had anyone where I'm like, bro, this girl's shooting from midcourt.
Yeah.
She's doing exactly what these guys
Chris,
are
you've
doing.
seen Caitlin Clark.
She's
right?
incredible.
You know what we're talking
She's
about?
incredible.
The fact that I know who this player is a testament to.
She knows Caitlin Clark
to
doesn't know
what the
Neymar,
strides
so
that
yes.
she's making within.
What about Neymar? Too soon?
I love his songs.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I love his plays.
All I need. Okay, got it. Moving on. So the men's Sweet 16 was on last night, and it was great. We're just going to do a quick recap. Arizona pissed me off. What the fuck? Because Arizona pissed me off. I'm pissed because they looked like an NBA team legit last week. They looked so good. I go, Arizona's going to be really, really tough. But it just shows that anything can happen in this tournament. And they lost to Alabama, right? Listen, do you have any thoughts on that? Because I just don't really want to touch on it too much because they don't deserve it.
You want that game in particular or yesterday as a...
Just give me the juice, man.
All right, so yesterday, the first weekend of, or the first few weekends of the tournament, kind of business as usual. The big seeds won, handled their business, not really too many upsets. And this week was completely different. 2 number 2s go down and a number 1 goes down. Like you said, man, to be able to see that, which one, you were just talking about which game? Which one did you expect? Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, well, Arizona let Clemson jump out to a big lead early.
Sorry, Clemson. That's my fault. I'm just
Yeah.
looking it up.
Well, what happens...
I lost so bad that I got carried away.
What happens in this tournament is, like, in the beginning, you can let these... If you're a 1 seed or a 2 seed and a 15 jumps out big on you, they come out all jacked up. And as soon as that kind of fizzles down, your talent takes over and you can catch them and win. But as you get to these later stages in the tournament, every team is good. Like Arizona is there. I mean, Clemson, they're still a 6 seed. They're one of the better teams in the country. They got good players.
They have shifty guys,
Right.
but also they have utility guys, and that's the thing that's so interesting about the NCAA tournament is it's not about size and it's not about talent. It's about team effort, and it's about those guys. It's like those shifty dudes that you don't know that probably won't go into the NBA or won't translate into the NBA, but shoot lights out when it comes tournament time. These guys are what I like to call lifetime players. You know what I'm talking about? Lifetime, the gym. These guys are lifetime players. When you go there and you're like, who the hell's that guy? You're like, oh, he played in the tournament back in so-and-so, and he just shoots lights out. Those are the guys.
Well, and that's what makes this tournament so cool and different. Like in the NBA, you got to beat a team 4 times. So usually the better team wins.
Correct.
In this tournament, you have a down shooting night and Clemson has the greatest shooting night.
That's what happened.
Good night, you're home.
Right.
So it's like there's no room for error and everything is like sudden death. You have a bad day on the wrong day and the other team is hitting shots. It's tough and you go home quick. And that's what we saw happen from a couple of these teams. And when you get to these later rounds, like I was trying to say, you can't let a team with talent jump out on you by double digits in the first 5-10 minutes because you're scraping to get back and it's tough. You know, it's a tough get back.
Yeah, look. I mean, even UNC, which
Yeah, I want to talk about that game.
I had them winning the whole thing. I hate the tournament. I'm not gonna. No, I'm just so angry because every team that I really thought was going to go somewhere didn't, and that's just what this thing is.
You're
It's
just not a
so
gambler.
awful. Christy,
You're not a
it's so
gambler.
awful. I love the NCAA tournament. I keep talking about it, but I also hate it. Because it's such a mind fuck. It really is. Like 1 minute you're like, this is a team. The next minute you're like, and it's another team that just comes past and just and you're like, I didn't see Clemson beating Arizona. I didn't see Alabama beating UNC. You know what I mean? That's how this tournament goes.
Well, as much as that drives you bananas, that's the beauty of the tournament,
course.
right? And
Correct.
very rarely, I think it's only happened one time where all 4 number ones make it through. So it's incredibly rare, despite the fact that these are the best teams in the country. Now, the UNC-Bama game, I kind of have like a personal link to, so this is going to piss you off. I'm sorry.
Great.
But Hofstra's own, obviously that's my alma mater.
Shout out to Hofstra.
Aaron Estrada won Conference Player of the Year 2 times in a row, and as a senior now transferred to Bama to try to up his draft stock. He went off for 19 last night, so it's cool to see a guy from my university that was a mid-major player or viewed as a mid-major player kind of make the jump, take a bet on himself, and he just went off for a
I wish you would have told me that
run.
before yesterday. I really wish.
I don't think it would have been reason to put
you know
money
what?
against
hey,
UNC.
Hey, Manno,
but
when you want to hold on those little nuggets, bud,
Yeah.
maybe you just want to give your boy a shout out.
That's
before,
my fault, brother.
Before he placed that bet. All right, moving on. Opening day. Opening day was yesterday, and I watched the Cubs lose to the Rangers, as they do, and but it was great. I love opening day. I love just the new season of baseball. I like that it's spring and then summer's right around the corner, and I don't know. It's just something. I never played baseball. You're a baseball guy. You played baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I was never very good at baseball. I always threw over the backstop as a little kid. I usually cried when I struck out. That's just me. I'm an emotional guy. That's just how it goes. But the thing I love about baseball is it's a new start, right? And so what are some things that you saw yesterday that you liked? Good or bad? What you got?
Yeah, definitely. Opening day and spring training coming to an end is huge, man. It like signifies, like you said, it's like a renaissance almost. Like
it
things
is
are starting to get warm.
Things
People
are
could
just,
be outside.
like it's a new beginning. You know what I mean? Yeah,
nice long season. You have something to watch every night. So obviously the homer in me. We talk on this show a lot about the teams that we love. Being from New York, Yankees guy. So the Yankees fall down 4-0. They're supposed to have a huge year. Obviously the addition of Juan Soto is huge, and it paid dividends immediately in Game 1. Yankees fall down 4-0. Juan Soto, first RBI base knock of the year for the Yankees, and then a monster. He's not known as much of a defender. So when they talk about Juan Soto, they talk about like a generational bat. Great eye, great on-base percentage, power to all fields, but he's not a great fielder. Christy, if you could pull up the clip, he made such a phenomenal play to gun down a guy at the plate last night late to kind of preserve the Yankees' lead and then ultimately a win. So shout to Juan Soto. If we can pull that up, that'd be sweet. It was awesome. Here it is. So there it is. Ball to right. Juan Soto charges, fires home, and it's 5-4 Yankees right now. And that's it. That's what saved the lead
Kid's
for the
got
Yankees.
a cannon, dude.
Yeah, so yeah, that was awesome to see. Game 1 immediately paying dividends.
Against his old team, too.
It's good to see one of the best players in the he was before this, they got him from San Diego.
Correct, but he was also he was with Washington.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
And this is against the Astros though. Yankees arch rival.
Oh, why did I think it was Washington?
Yeah, so yeah, it was cool to see him immediately pay dividends. Aaron Judge had a big RBI double in the game. And yeah, that's the theme of yesterday was the stars all over the league shine bright. Mike Trout, first home run of the whole season. It's cool to see Mike Trout back. Hopefully he's healthy. He's got a chance to go down and be an all-time great. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman both homered for the Dodgers, who had a big win. And your boy Shohei Ohtani seems to be doing just fine amidst all this chaos
around
him.
Did you say my boy?
I said your boy.
Okay. For sure.
Amidst all the chaos around
He's bad
Ohtani,
at betting too.
He still goes 2 for 3. And the Dodgers do what the Dodgers are supposed to do. So it was cool to see the stars around the league shine bright in opening day.
Well, speaking of shining bright, who didn't shine bright was the umpires.
Oh yeah, they had a tough one for the umps yesterday.
166 missed calls on opening day.
So there's like this umpire tracker that I follow on X.
That's
and
some,
we
by the
have
way,
that.
I'm not gonna lie,
pretty
Manno,
crazy.
That's
right?
some nerd shit.
Oh yeah,
that's some straight up nerd shit. But I like
is
that.
Is this something you're just learning, dude?
I'm here for it. That's the reason why we have you on the show.
So, Chris, if you could pull that up too, it's a smorgasbord of all missed calls by the umpires throughout the day. There we go. And and so 166 on opening day, and that's with 2 games postponed.
My God.
2 games postponed due to rain. So, yeah, Soto has got one of the best eyes in the league. He barked at an ump yesterday. Anthony Volpe got on an ump. Andrew McCutchen, MVP, got on an ump. Yeah, they were very unhappy yesterday. The umps were in rare form on Game 1. So
what is going on?
Yeah, so it's pretty brutal.
What's going on, Christy, is a lot of bad calls.
Sports
is what's
betting.
going on. So this is the reason why I think they're going to start implementing AI with the umps. Although you can't take away the umps because the umps are part of baseball. But after a while, it starts to affect the game. You know what I mean?
That's the big battle, right?
Yeah, of course.
How much of that the beauty of baseball are you willing to give up? You know?
Yep.
And then you want to get the calls right, but at the end of the day, can you see baseball where it's just like machine robots and they're
Yeah, I
telling
can
it?
kind of.
Really?
Sadly.
It's interesting.
I kind of feel like that's where we're headed,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not. That's
Well,
what sucks.
I think they've been doing some semblance of it in the minors, where like if an ump gets a call wrong, a player can signal, and within 5 seconds they have the right call.
I think that's I think that's the only way to do it now. That's the way it should be done. Is because you should be able to. It's just like you throw a flag on the field. You should be able to contest the call.
Yeah.
Of course, right?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of if you have the technology, why not use it to get the
Totally.
calls right, unless it's against my team. But,
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, no, 100%. No, you're right.
Speaking of making the right call, moving on to football, Caleb Williams, I got into a lot of heat on Instagram, on TikTok. People were not happy with me because I made fun of Caleb Williams. Christy, do you have the picture of Caleb Williams and his thing? I don't want to beat this dead horse either, but we're going to talk about it because it has to be addressed. Caleb Williams was at the USC women's basketball tournament game, and there was a picture of him with a pink phone case with pink fingernail polish, and he has, I think, lip gloss on. Listen, maybe he's supporting the team, or maybe he's supporting women's basketball. And all I said was, did anyone see this? People went off, and our guy, Gutierrez, over at Around the Horn on ESPN, did not like my comment. So I said, if you don't like my comment, that's okay. That's what we do here in America, is you have your opinions, and you can say whatever the fuck you want. And that's what I did. I said whatever I want. I just said, did you see this? Now, here's my thing, Chris, and I want your take on this as well, and Christy as well. Dennis Rodman wore a dress, and we all know that. And Dennis Rodman did some crazy shit. He hung out with Madonna. He was drinking beers on his Harley after the Bulls won the championship. Awesome. That's what I love. I love that shit. Wear a wedding dress to your book signing. Dope. Awesome. But people have a problem because they're so triggered right away from what they see and not what they hear. Chris, do you think this is such a hot topic that people should be so up in arms, or is this people just making something out of nothing?
I think the world in general right now is just finding a reason to be
pissed
combative.
off.
Yeah, for sure. I think first, just like a sidebar, I absolutely love that your quarterback is the guy doing this, because I think for the next months we have.
What? See, that's so
no,
messed
it's
up.
just it's
Why
going to be
can't I
great for
just
this
have
show.
people that support me?
I love you. It's going to be great for this show. I support your show doing well.
Jesus.
So the fact that that's a thing. But here's the deal. What do I think? I think, yes, at the end of the day, we've spoken about it before. If you can play, that's all people care about. And Chicago will embrace him if he goes out there and throws for 4,500 or 5,000 yards, and they win some games for the first time in a long time. They'll embrace him, and they'll take him in despite whatever kind of quirks he has, right? Now, what I do believe as a football guy, and I've been fortunate to be around certain quarterbacks, and again, it's a guy like a Tebow, a guy like I had – Cam Newton. Here's the deal. At that position, you are above all a leader of men. You need to galvanize a team. You need to be able to say something with conviction and people buy in and believe.
Right.
When things get hard, you need to make everybody feel like you've got things under control. I think, and this is just me, and I could be wrong, I'm just saying, this is how I feel.
I know where you're going with this.
You at that position need to convey strength, and you need to convey confidence, and I just don't know how I feel about a guy with fingernails painted and lipstick.
I was just about to say, if you're in my huddle and listen, God, do whatever you want to do with your life and whatever you want. But if it's 4th down and 5 and we have to get in that end zone and I'm looking at you with Lee press-ons, I don't know if I'm going to take. I don't know if I'm going to take you serious, Christy. What's your thoughts? What is your thoughts?
I mean, I think
show those nails, by the way.
Can you imagine that? Hi, hello.
Listen, I'll listen to you though. If you look like you with those nails on, that's fine.
I don't know. I think
4th and 5. Let's get it done.
It really depends on the person. I think that there's like this hyper feminization of like men in Hollywood and in athletics.
Right.
And I think that certain exaggerations, like Dennis Rodman in the wedding dress, I think that was all for show and attention.
Totally.
I think who's that? Russell Westbrook. I think he does that a lot as well with his fashion sense. Mm-hmm. Maybe he does it in a way where he wants to be fashionable, but I think it's a lot of attention seeking. So for me personally, like looking at men, I don't think it's cool for me. I don't think it's cool to see them with different colors. I can understand darker colors, like if they're like a rock star and they have like these rugged like black painted nails that aren't so perfectly gelled, or if they have like smeared eyeliner, things like that. I think it really depends on the person, but I think if you're just wearing flat out pink nails with like a purple phone case, I feel like you're just doing that for attention. I think you're doing it for clicks so people can have these conversations outside of your game.
It went viral.
And I think it's really distracting, honestly, from like the sport itself.
Totally.
And as weird as it sounds, and from the outside, if you're not in there, you probably can't grasp this fully. But the position is such a huge thing. Because if you ask me, and I look at some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, it's a Brady, it's a Peyton Manning, right? These guys are successful because of not a lot of it is physical. A lot of it is about how you kind of get your boys on the same page, how you meticulously move down the field. And just that position, you need to convey certain things that I don't know that does. Now, like I said, again, if you're around him every day and you're in a locker room with him and you see how he prepares, maybe the receivers in that room say, that is what it is. He does what he's supposed to be doing. Again, a little quirky, but not the end of the world for me. And again, if he wins, that's going to be a huge help. Now, he came out yesterday. I think we have a clip of him kind of firing back at people who were – Christy, do we have that clip we can pull up real quick? The Caleb Williams yesterday had something to say about – he obviously recognized that this is going viral. Here it is.
Nails are clear. Lips are pink. Your girl love them.
So you know what? I'm going to be honest. I actually like that.
Lips are pink.
No, listen. I know we're all probably making way bigger a deal than it is. I'm just saying, Dennis Rodman did what he did because it was something that's never been done before. Also, he's the first one to got tattoos in the NBA.
And Dennis Rodman's position was to be eccentric and to be a rebounding effort player.
Correct.
That's kind of what I was getting at with the quarterback thing. Like, if you were a linebacker and your job was to be a maniac and run around and hit everything and be a little crazy and give off that, like, nut job persona, I think that helps a little bit if you do some eccentric stuff. At the quarterback position, I think a settling presence is probably what I'm looking for. But again, to each his own. Let's see how he does.
Totally. The new kickoff rule that happened, I want your take on this, being an ex-NFL player. I like it, but I don't like the onside kickoff because the onside kickoff is gone now. It's gone. It's gone. You can't do it.
Yeah, it's tough. That
sucks. That was the best part of football. And also, if you're going to do an onside kickoff, you have to tell the other team, obviously. Now,
no more surprises.
No more surprises, but that's what sucks. But also, I do like this because I do miss, because as a kick returner, and as I was a kick returner too.
Right.
But I love that because I miss the Devin Hester days. You know what I mean? That stuff was what football is all about, is the kickoff, right?
Right.
So do we like this, man, or do we not like this? Real quick.
Well, I mean, pertaining to the onside kick, we talked a couple of episodes ago. They have something going in that might make that kind of theme of being able to recover the ball at the end of a game to come back a thing again. So let's hold off and see how that works out. But pertaining to this new kickoff, I think it's going to be cool to see how some of these special teams coaches can find new ways to kind of make this work. We've seen right here, this is the XFL. There's potential for big plays still.
Yeah, no,
it's just going to be about who's the first guy to get to the game and master it. That
I do like it. The only thing I don't like the NFL's doing is with this, and then also the tackling thing, I don't like at all.
Yeah,
that is bullshit.
The game is
because the
changing,
best
for sure.
part of, I mean, you can't not have that sort of form tackling like that. That's what we grew up on.
Yeah, that's called the hip drop tackle.
That was my bread and butter, dude.
So the elimination of the hip drop tackle is tough because what you're asking is for perfect form tackles every time.
Right.
And in a league like the NFL where these athletes are just so incredibly gifted, it's very hard to get chest to chest and fit up for a perfect tackle. So I don't know how these guys now, once a guy gets past you, all you can do, because you're not going to catch up to him, to catch him, drive your feet, and put him down, you're going to have to hang on him and roll. Like, that's the way it goes. So I feel like it's going to be a matter of they're either not going to follow their rules or they're going to throw a flag every single play.
But
so
Chris,
it's going to be funny to see.
I know this is for the safety of the NFL players, right?
This is what they say. They don't care about the safety of the NFL players.
Correct. What I'm saying is this has now become about flag football to me, in a way, because these guys, one, you're now going to tell me how to tackle. Two, we're taking away sort of the kickoff. We're changing the whole kickoff scenario. At a point in time, when do we let these guys just play football and stop throwing flags? And stop tinkering with everything.
I mean, another thing, man, once it's the toothpaste out of the tube analogy, like, it's very hard to put it back now because anything you go back to the old way, people are going to come cry like, wait a minute, you don't care about their safety anymore? Now, the NFL is weird because they're like ironic with how they preach safety, safety, safety. We're going to change all the rules and add extra games. So the league makes more money. And, you know, it's weird. When they go the safety route, I'm kind of 10 years past thinking they care at all about the safety of the players.
It just makes me mad, too, because we're going to watch these guys try to tackle, but then you're going to have to let a guy go and just run for an extra 10 yards. It doesn't make any sense,
and
Chris.
you're not going to be able to rewire these guys who've been playing since they're 6 years old.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be you're trying to make it like an aesthetically pleasing, like as you make the game more offensive, minded, you want people to tune in. But when the game is slow because there's a 15-yard penalty for hip drop tackling every other play, that's what I'm saying. They're either going to call it like they wrote it, and that's going to be a miserable aesthetic game for fans, or they're going to call it when they want to, which kind of sucks too, because as a player, you need consistency from the officials.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
We're going to see how it plays out.
Right.
But moving on, the good, the bad, and do we care? I saw this the other day. I was telling Christy, this is the reason why I love hockey. I love hockey. I love it. I love it almost as baseball. I never really was good at baseball. I was never good at hockey. I only play football. But I love hockey and baseball almost as much as the next guy. This is what's so great. This guy Panarin, he used to play for the Blackhawks. His first name,
Artemi Panarin.
Yeah, Artemi Panarin.
Yes, stud for the Rangers.
Right. Did you see this, Manno? Did you look? Did you
I'm
see
not
this?
exact. I mean, I watch almost every Ranger game. I don't know what you're going to show us, but
the party doesn't stop just because you have a game. Christy, watch. This is
the
what
green
Panarin
drink?
does. He watch this. Dude, this is so great. Right in front of the announcer too.
it was the announcer's drink.
Was it the announcer's drink?
This was on St. Patty's Day. Yeah, this is incredible.
How great is that, dude?
And the cool thing about Panarin is, as good a character as he is, phenomenal player.
He's amazing.
100+ points
I'm so
right
mad
now.
the Blackhawks got rid of him, dude. I loved him.
The Rangers signed him to a huge
Him and
deal.
Patty Kane were awesome.
I'm going to be honest, man. You love Rempe. You like Panarin.
I like-
Dude,
yeah.
maybe it's time to make the switch.
I like shit
Jump
starters.
on the Broadway. No, I mean, these are all Rangers. Jump on right now, man. Best team in the league. First
no.
team to 100
I'm diehard.
points. First team to clinch a playoff spot.
Sorry, big guy. Die hard Blackhawks. Die hard.
Sorry about that.
Die hard.
Well,
Die hard. What do you have, Chris, for the good?
all right, the good is, are the days of street clothes Anthony Davis gone?
I don't know.
Anthony Davis has played in 96 out of the Lakers' last 100 games. And during the week, he played 52 minutes in one contest, which is the most since Kobe Bryant played similar in 2012. So Anthony Davis has been stuck with this stigma of always injured, always hurt. It's what's stopping him from being an all-time great, to the point where he got the nickname Street Clothes from Charles Barkley.
Not good.
From being in
That might
street
be the
clothes
worst.
every night.
Christy,
Yeah.
would you think that's the worst nickname
it's a
you could
brutal
ever
one.
get from
What was the nickname?
Street clothes. And they
Because
call him
he's-
street clothes because he
because
misses
he's-
every game and he's
Worst.
always in street clothes.
How did that even start?
So-
he was always on.
Always hurt.
Always hurt. And so he's always in street clothes, so they call him Anthony
It's so
Davis Street
sad.
Clothes.
No, I
So
don't
the
like
good
it.
is that
Not
Anthony
good.
Davis may be past his injury woes, and it would be cool to see if he can fulfill that potential because he's still got time left in his prime. So shout out to Anthony Davis for playing a ton lately.
Yeah, he's 31 years old. He's still
Yeah,
got
he got
some,
time
he's
for
still
sure.
got some time. The only problem is, he needs to show consistently. He needs to show consistency in terms of staying healthy, and that's been his biggest downfall for
Yep,
sure.
that's it.
Let's see. My bad was Vince Young was. Vince Young was out partying with his boys. Texas football player, played for Tennessee. Gets knocked out at the bar. And listen, nothing good happens past 12 o'clock, as they say, right? Depends on who you hang out with, though. But yeah, look at this. He is the guy with the white cap on, black shirt. He's getting pushed back. Guy turns around. Oh!
That's such a cheap shot, dude.
Guess
Look
what?
at
By the way, guess what? That guy from now on is always going to say he's the guy that knocked out Vince Young. For sure. This is his
the
legacy.
Jake Paul of bar fights.
For sure. This is his legacy. Oh, God. Okay. I can't watch it
Roadhouse.
again.
Dude, what a sucker punch.
I hate that shit.
Yeah,
dude.
I hope that
hate
guy gets
shit.
dropped
He'll get
somewhere.
what's coming to him. I don't know, but hopefully Vince Young finds that guy and knocks his ass out. I hate shit like that. What's your bad, Chris? What do you got?
My bad is the Eagles opening up on Peacock, a streaming service exclusively,
Terrible.
and a wild card game now being exclusively shown on Amazon Prime.
Shit I'm talking about.
And now there's been they named this week 2 Christmas Day games, and now services are bidding on the exclusive rights to those. So the NFL, which grosses billions and billions and billions, the most profitable league every year, they just get more greedy, it seems like, because regular folks now are going to have to subscribe to Peacock or Prime or for one game to see their guys play.
Also,
sucks.
what is the point of an NFL Sunday ticket if we're going to start divvying it out?
Yeah.
There's just no point. That's just another.
And you know the price of that's not coming down either. So.
No, I feel like it goes up every year.
Yeah, it sucks. It's just endless greed.
It really is, dude. It's ridiculous at this point.
So that's my bad. Yep.
Okay, so do we care, dude? I mean, yeah, we kind of care. This is bad. You can't do this. Sage Steele has her own show, and shout out to Sage Steele. We love her at Valuetainment. She's awesome. She's awesome. But Sage, my girl, you cannot listen. I'm the one that I put my foot in my mouth all the time. But this one, this one is top notch. I would say this is A1 bad. This is A1 bad. You can't mix up Dana White with Joe Rogan.
Rogan's dream?
What's Joe Rogan's dream?
Joe Rogan, Dana White. What's Dana White's dream?
Oh no! Look at him.
That was Joe Rogan?
I totally did.
You just called me fucking Joe Rogan. You thought it was fucking Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I thought you were Joe Rogan.
I was bald before Joe was ever bald.
I know.
This is live fucking podcast. I flew here
they just started the
Vegas.
interview.
I'm saying it was live. Like you couldn't edit
Rogan.
it so bad.
Wait.
Dream.
Wait.
Joe Rogan's dream.
Christy.
Yeah, you initially thought because Christy, I know what Christy's thinking. You thought because he's so close with Joe Rogan, she was asking a Joe Rogan question, right?
Wait, she called him Joe Rogan.
She thought,
that's
she
what it was.
Joe
I thought
Rogan.
it was like a reference because they're close.
Right.
Yeah, but
oh no,
Dana White is the guy's a multi-fucking millionaire.
Yeah, Dana White's
and he's top-notch guy. Who's coming to the studio today?
Oh,
Who is it?
no.
Oh, Dana White. And then she sat there. Did she just like totally? Were you on edible stage?
Out?
What happened? Were you just a total brain fart? Where you just said, "What is Joe Rogan's dream?" Oh my God! I would have started the interview over. I would have said, "No,
I would have been like,
hold
we're
on, my
cutting
bad."
that.
Listen, they have their shoes off. They're all comfy. She's got her. He goes like this. He goes. Did she just call me Joe Rogan?
You know
And
what
Dana
it was?
White's socks are hilarious, by the way.
It was the knee.
Yeah.
The knee tap. It was like, what's your dream?
Totally.
What's your dream? He's like,
Yeah.
wait, who are we talking about?
Yeah. What's Joe Rogan's dream? Fucking huh? Dude, sorry, man. But by the way, that went viral. And if that's the way you got to kick off your new show, Sage, shout out to you because you did it. And I watched the shit out of that. Chris, what do you have for your Do We Care?
All right, my Do We Care is a cool story coming out of Kansas City, obviously homering me again. But the NFL has something called a player pathway program where they bring in guys from different countries and try to make them NFL players. And we've seen some successful guys from there. And there's latest is a rugby guy. The Chiefs just signed. His name is Louis Rees-Zammit, okay? We have a clip for that, Christy. Louis Rees-Zammit is the newest Chiefs signee. He's a 6'3", 205-pound athlete. Rugby guy. He was clocked at 24.2 miles per hour on field last year, where the NFL's fastest was Tyreek Hill at 23.24.
Is that him, number 14?
Yes. So what do we think about this? Do we care that this rugby guy was signed? Or what do we think? We expecting anything from him?
The Niners tried to do this with, I forget the guy's name. And he was a stud.
He played for a year, too. He got a kickoff return touchdown.
A stud. But the problem is the rugby is it doesn't really translate into the NFL because I feel like the rugby is a little bit more loose, where the NFL is a little more strict in terms of what you can do on and off or on the field. So I would love to see this translate. I think it would be great. It's a great story.
Right here, watch this guy take off, though. Just his getaway speed is wild. So it rivals Tyreek Hill. So there's nobody faster in the league than that.
Huh.
So, yeah.
I guess we'll look out for the guy. What's the guy's name?
Louis Rees-Zammit.
That's a great name.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show. I've had a great time. Chris, how do you feel? Any parting words for the people at home?
I feel great. It was a blast. Appreciate y'all having me. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Check me out on Manect, the app, and Instagram, Manno Steel.
And you'll be at the model volleyball.
I will be at the volleyball thing this weekend, too. Let's do
tomorrow.
it. Yeah, it should be a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
Sauce will be there. PBD will be there. Christy, are you going to be there?
Absolutely. I am not going to be there.
Okay.
But you guys are going to have a blast.
Well, do you have to go sing another
amazing.
national anthem somewhere?
I don't think they want me there. They'll be focusing on other things.
Well, we want you there. Christy, do you have any parting words for the people at home?
No, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for having me. You can always follow me on Instagram at Christy_Prades. And make sure you guys go to VT.com, VTmerch.com. We still have a buy one, get one free on all of our hats. Make sure you check that out.
And Manect.
And Manect. You can connect with me on Manect under my name, Christy Prades, as well as all of our guys here in the Sports Center. And we hope to see you guys there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that, like I said, has been our show. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Please check out our show on Valuetainment Sports. Subscribe. Tell all your friends. We have tons of reels from Chris, reels from Chrissy doing a lot of cool stuff. And you can also watch the recap of the show. What a great weekend for another awesome weekend of sports. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys on Monday. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.